Hi and welcome to the Azam Shop YouTube channel. I'm your host Mohammad Azam, and in this screencast we are going to take a look at the NUI or Nui framework, which is for styling the iOS application with a style sheet. And as you can see, this is the GitHub page already opened, and it's pretty nifty, pretty nice framework if you want to style different elements like a button and label and pretty much every control that you really have, labels and tab bars and bar buttons and all that stuff, using a CSS like structure. Okay, so as you can see over here, this is kind of like a CSS style structure that you can define, and your controls will be styled according to that. So let's go ahead and use that. Now I have already downloaded it, and the instructions are pretty simple. Let's see, installation, you just copy the NUI directory. So after you download from the GitHub, you just copy the NUI or Nui directory in your application, and you add the core image and quartz image framework to your application if you haven't done that, and then you add this call to the did finish loading with option and app delegate and NUI settings.init to auto release in main and all that stuff, right? So you can do that. So this is my application, and let's drag a button over here. Here we go, and I'm going to just run it. And you'll see that it comes up with a button. Now if I want to style the button, I can style it right over here using the properties. You can using all the text color, shadow color, and different kind of font. But usually what I will do is I want this to be consistent throughout the application. Okay, so I'll go over here, and let's say if I want to change the label to Georgia and the size to be 17, I'm going to use the UI appearance API, which was introduced in iOS 5, and I will use the following code to basically style the label, because the text that is displayed inside the button itself is basically a label. So let's go ahead and run this, and you will see that now our button text is now changed to a 17 point, and then it's a Georgia font. Okay, and if you of course drag and drop a different control or a different button control basically, then you will realize that the style for that particular control is also Georgia. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm just going to drop another control over here and save it and then run it. And since I've defined this in the app delegate, and since I've defined it, I'm using the iOS 5 appearance API. This goes basically for all the controls, or all the button controls, or all the labels, I would say, that are all the labels that are inside the button control. See? And the button works as expected, whatever you want to do. Now, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that it's cumbersome to write these things. Okay, and we need just one file to basically write in some sort of a format that we already understand. Okay, and CSS is one of those things that we already understand. We have already been doing if we are doing web development. So let's go ahead and open up this Nui Style File, which is in the NUI demo project or NUI project, basically. Now, any style that you define over here will be used, or it can be used with the UI elements that you have on the screen. Okay, so I can simply go ahead and I can say button, and I can give anything I want. And this is kind of like a CSS structure or CSS styling that we are talking about. I can simply say background color. Okay, and I can simply assign a different background color. Let's say B40404. Okay, and now if I go to my storyboard or the designer view, one thing I need to make sure is that it doesn't inherit from the UI button, but it inherits from the NUI button. Okay, so let's go ahead and run this, and here we go. So you can see that we now have the button in the red color, and you can actually go ahead and turn this off We can turn this thing off and run it again. So it will display in the system font, and it will display the button in the red background color. So just like the advantages that you get when you're using CSS styling in your web application, you will get the same sort of advantages in the Nui over here. And then the reason is that you have just one file that you can simply change, and it will have the effect on one or more than one, which is global controls. You can also create these files and then share it among different projects if you want a similar look. Okay, if you want corner radiuses, and this of course project is under development right now, and if you want to contribute, you can simply go to the GitHub URL and then contribute. So now I'm saying corner radius is 6, and you can see that the corner radius is starting to make shape. Now there's no effect on this button because this particular button inherits from the UI button and not from the NUI or Nui button. Okay. What about if you want to make your own style? Okay, so you're going to go into extensions. I mean, you can actually create it in any folder that you want, basically, but I'm just going to go in the extension, and I'm just going to say, okay, green button. All right, and let's go ahead and create that. So here's our okay, I think I made a mistake. It should be called NUI green button. NUI green button. Just go ahead and change that everywhere that you are using. And we're going to go over here, and we're going to change this also. Okay, just remove this code because we're not going to use this code. And NUI. Okay, and now you can go ahead and implement the init NUI method, which of course is available to us since our base class is NUI button. And then we can say super init NUI or Nui. I keep calling it NUI. So UI NUI class. And over here you can do multiple inheritance also. It's like you can say green button, okay, which inherits from the button. So this will give you the functionality of the green button, which is of course inheriting from the button, so you'll get all the functionalities of the button also. But in this case, we'll just keep it simple, and we'll say, okay, just get me the class green button. And it's going to go over here and search for that green button class, which of course is not really defined. So let's go ahead and define that. And in the green button you can do different kind of stuff. You can change the color to, of course, a greener color. So I can say 3ADF00, and you can do anything you want, like change the corner radius or anything. So if you want to use this class, you are going to just inherit from NUI green button. And run it. And here we go. So we get this green look, or the green button for this particular button, but every other button that we introduce in our application, which is inheriting from the Nui button, it will get this particular behavior with the rounded corners and also the red background. In the future version of the Nui project, you don't have to do any sort of inheritance from the Nui class or anything like that, since I think it will be available as a matter of a category. So it will be extending the button class or the UI button class as per se. So you don't really have to do anything. It will be simply a drop and go solution. And that's pretty much it. Here is the URL, or here is the website again. It's called NUI or Nui project, and the author also has mentioned somewhere that in an update it will be using categories. And you can see the different styles that you can use on the bar button and the button and all this stuff. and I believe that they are they are being updated quite fast. So it covers pretty much all the controls that you have, all the in the UI kit, and then some more basically. So that's pretty much it. I hope you like this tutorial, and thank you for watching.